Out there, students, parents, and any community members joining us. Welcome to our webinar today, Santa Paula High School Athletic webinar. Today, guys, it is our objective and it's our hope to provide you guys with the latest information as it pertains to your athletic programs. So first off, I want to start by thank you guys for joining us. I know it's Friday. Some of you guys probably got other things you'd rather be doing or not. But glad you guys are here, guys. Again, athletics is a big part of our community and a big part of the school. So again, this is a webinar, which is different than the Zoom meetings that you're used to. In a Zoom meeting, there's some little bit of back and forth. Presenter can see you and you can see the presenter. With the webinar, it operates a little different in that I'm speaking. I can see the names of those of you that join me. I can't see your screens. And you can't communicate with each other, but you can communicate with myself or Mr. DeCandia, who will be assisting today with the chat and helping answer questions. So again, thanks for joining. You should be able to see my screen and or Mr. DeCandia's whenever he's talking. Appreciate you guys joining. I ask that hold your questions in that I may be answering them as we go through the presentation towards the end. And again, we'll stay at the end and answer any questions that you may have and make sure that everybody gets their questions answered. So I got nowhere to go. This is the last thing on my agenda for today. So this is about you guys. And again, just trying to give you guys an update on where we stand as of today and what you can expect. I know a lot of us are anxious to get out to the practice field as we have been all last semester. And again, it is my hope to provide you with some information. It could be good, bad, and some of it we may not want to hear, but I'm going to always give you guys the truth. So again, thanks for joining. With that said, I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. I got multiple screens on my end. Let's see. All right, can you guys see my screen? Mr. DeCann, can you see my screen on your end?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So once again, today's an update specifically for sports. Latest as of today, a lot's happened, a lot's transpired over the course of the last month, and even so this week. And so here's kind of where we're at. The first thing I want to go over is just kind of the CIF. As you guys know, CIF is our governing body for all interscholastic sports. So I'm going to go over where CIF's at with their information. And then we'll trickle down to what our district, where we're at with our district decisions, and then eventually down to Santa Paula High School. So first things first, Ventura County, as you guys know, has been and continues to be in the purple tier. This is going back to last December, November, if you guys recall. By that, it's essentially the most restrictive tier, which limits us from participating in competition and or practices. So if you guys recall, our fall sports programs were in operations in a phase 2 capacity, fall sports only through the second week of December, in which the decision was made at that point to shut down practices as in response to the rising COVID cases in our community of Santa Paula. So our hope was to get started January 5th when we came back from winter break to get our programs back up and running and or at least those programs that were permitted to do so in the purple tier. And obviously our district, our numbers were still high in our community, and we were denied that access to engage in practices, which is where we're at the whole month of January. On January 12th, CIFSS also sends out weekly updates letting us know where they're at with the tiered maps. And again, I'll share that with you guys shortly. And they do so every week. So every week we get notifications from CIF as to where our county lies in terms of what's permitted and what's not. And that's kind of one of our guiding forces in determining what happens with our sports. So again, it's been happening weekly. We get notifications. These are communicated with our coaches and with our district, and it helps us kind of plan and guide moving forward. So that's kind of where we're at. On January 19th, CIF released an update that essentially it indicated that they were postponing all CIF Southern Section championships and all state championships. With that said, that essentially ended any postseason competitions not permitted beyond for the fall. However, that does not apply to spring sports. Spring sports were still intact for full seasons with playoffs as of today. Again, can that change? It could change, guys. As it changed on January 19th, CIF was looking at the calendars of where we were at, which our fall sports were already in season. And at that point, they decided to cancel sports or competitions, playoffs, because there was no time to get them in. So again, they canceled playoffs and championships, but they didn't cancel the entire seasons completely. And I'll talk about that shortly because our cross country program, as you've been getting my emails, they're currently practicing in preparation to competitions. So we'll jump into that shortly. Spring sports, again, as indicated, we're still on pace for that, guys. The championships are still there. The seasons are still in full tact. And we are making progress in terms of COVID cases, not only in our county, but throughout the state. So it's looking very positive. It's looking very good. And we'll get updates. As soon as we get updates, guys, to bring you guys back, we will do so as we did this past week for cross country only. Right? Another CIF update. CIF communicated a reversal to a bylaw 600 and 605. And what essentially that means, guys, is that if you guys recall last semester through our communications, we communicated to you guys that we were planning to allow student athletes to participate in multiple sports. So if you're like Bryce, who plays football and baseball, or two sports within the same season, it was permissible, and that's what we had planned and coordinated for, and that's how we strategically made our schedules to allow students to be able to participate in multiple sports as an option. Again, CIF communicated late December that in efforts to limit contacts, that they were going to prohibit student athletes from engaging in multiple sports, which means student athletes, if we get to the spring, you would now have to choose one sport only, and you wouldn't be able to participate in multiple sports. And again, that's an effort to limit the contacts. They don't want students going from one cohort to another, obviously spreading the virus if that happened to be the case. So again, that's a decision made at the state level, CIF, and that's been passed down to us, and that student athletes will be required to only, they'll be allowed to participate in one sport, and that includes club. So you wouldn't be able to play club sports and then high school team at the same time. You wouldn't be able to play in, if you're a soccer player and a baseball player, they're both spring sports this season, you wouldn't be able to play in both. You would have to choose one. And again, those are all efforts or attempts to limit to reduce social contacts. So again, that's new, guys. That was brought to us late January. And that's something that I want to communicate with you guys, because we do have a lot of multi-sport athletes as part of our programs. So that's something that I need to communicate with you guys. As you'll see, here is the bylaw, again, sent to us on January 25th. Cohorting right in the middle in bold. Athletes and coaches should cohort by team, refrain from participating with more than one team over the same season or time period. Notwithstanding, again, these are the communications released January 20th, which was different than what we've communicated to you guys in the past. So that's a big change for us and what we were planning for you guys moving forward. All right. Moving on. Again, these communications were sent to us February 1st. Again, these are from CIF offices. Again, boys and girls cross-country competitions. If you recall, they canceled all fall sport championships. However, they're still allowing duels to move forward as of January 25th moving forward. So the only sport that's still in that buffer zone, that's a fall sport that's in the purple tier, which is where we're at right now, which is the most restrictive tier, is cross country. Volleyball is 2 colors away, as is football, as is water polo. So right now, the only sport permissible for us to engage in and participate in is cross country. Obviously, they don't share equipment. They run, they're outdoors, they're not indoors in facilities. So this sport is allowed to go forward. So for you guys, if you check your emails, you receive communications from me. As soon as we got the green light, which was on Tuesday afternoon, I immediately rolled into my office and sent out an email to any student athletes out there interested in cross country. We're having practices. We started Wednesday. Check-in starts at 2:30 for 3 o'clock practices. And you're all still invited to come out if you're interested in cross country. So that's the only sport that's engaging in competitions right now, right? Maps, if you guys can see my screen, this is the latest tiered map that was released by CIF. The date on here is February 2nd. As you can see, the entire state of California, guys, is for the most part still in the purple. Purple, again, being the most restrictive tier. So this is not just a Santa Paula plan or a Ventura County plan. It's got all counties here broken up. And as you can see, we're still in the purple. So in the purple, you'll see that the sports that are allowed in the purple is cross country, golf, swimming and diving, which we offer, tennis, and track and field. Those programs are permitted in the purple, but the only one our district has given permission for at the moment is cross country because they are in actual season. The other sports in that purple tier that you see, which is again is swimming and diving, tennis, and track and field, those are spring sports. They're scheduled to slate off in March. So it is our objective to get those three programs into practices immediately. And again, we await district direction on that. And that's all kind of pending on what's happening within our community with our COVID numbers. So the next sports up to bat, again, purple, those three programs, swimming, tennis, and track and field. Not far behind them is what you call the red tier, which is where we were at before. And then we took a step back into the purple tier because we had an increase in our COVID cases. In the red tier, as you can see, we offer baseball and softball, which is good because we anticipate moving into the red tier sometime in the very near future. And those are spring sports, which means they would normally start in March. So we have a little bit of time to get there, but it's those two sports it's very possible that we'll get into that red tier and get some competition for baseball and softball. Moving on, the orange tier, as you see right here, that's kind of where our football that's in season right now lands. Soccer, volleyball, and water polo. Again, that's two colors off from where we're at right now because we're in the purple, as you can see on the map. And this map is as of February 2nd. Those sports are 2 colors away, which again, they are spring sports that are quickly approaching, and we need to get into that tier to allow our programs to compete. So those are kind of still up in the air. And last but not least, going into the yellow tier, as you'll see, is basketball, cheer, and wrestling. And at that point, most of those programs are indoors, and they will be at the last stage where everything's declared minimal. And again, for us to get to those programs, we have to jump 2 colors in between to get to the 3rd color to allow those programs to move forward. So again, our rollout plan, guys, is to move all the purple sports that you see on here into practices because their seasons are quickly approaching, and also for our red tier, which would be our baseball and softball. These programs are looking very possible, and we're planning for those as part of our rollout. Those are the next sports in line. So moving on, guys, and again, if you guys have any questions, please type them in the chat, and we'll answer these at the end before I let you guys go. All right. So that's what CIF says. What I just shared with you guys, that's the latest CIF update. In terms of our county, what does the state, what does the county read? Right now, guys, I pulled this map right here to the left where you see my arrow. I pulled that directly from the California Department of Public Health. And as you see, they have sports broken down by the colors. The purple tier. On here, you'll see out of all the sports on here, we have golf, which is the program that we see on the right-hand side. We have everything that you see in purple, the golfs, the swimmings, the tennis, the tracks. Those are the ones we're trying to get going. But in season right now, in the winter season, is cross country, which of course they're already practicing. And it is, they started practice on February 3rd. And we have anticipated competitions starting on Saturday, February 20th, and going 3 or 4 Saturdays thereafter. So that's what we're working on to get those guys up and going. And not far behind will be those other purple tiers and those red tier teams that you see on there. So again, as I already communicated, baseball and softball, not too far behind, especially them being outdoor sports. So we're excited about these programs, guys. For the other programs that are more than 2 colors away, the wrestlings, the soccers, and the basketballs, it's going to be a little more challenging. But again, we're keeping our fingers crossed that things improve and they change as they have been early this month of February. It's looking very optimistic, and we're hoping for better outcomes. So again, we'll be in touch. Again, I've been communicating with you guys. Hopefully you're getting my updates via email. And I also do updates here with these webinars. We also been doing updates through KDTV. For those of you guys that tune in, please feel free to log into the website. We do a athletic director, a Santa Paula Sports Center update. We do that, and you can also follow us on Twitter, which I'll go over that information shortly. All right, moving on. Our district, where we at in terms of our district? Where do we stand? Again, on February 3rd, we finally got the green light for cross country, which is in the purple tier, to resume practices with competition starting on the 20th. We're excited about that. For the other programs, we continue monitoring in hopes of getting them into a practice in preparation for quickly approaching seasons. So baseball, softball, tracks, tennis, golf, be ready, stay ready, because it's coming, and we anticipate some action. All right, Santa Paula High School update. What's happening here at this site in preparation? Well, we continue planning and preparing for the season as we have been all last semester. If you guys remember the fall, we kept planning and prepping, and when the date and time came around and it didn't happen, then we plan on for the next. So we have multiple plans in place according to what we're permitted to do. That hasn't stopped, and that won't stop, because that's what we do. Trying to get ready for athletics and trying to get you guys going is what we're trying to get. And again, we're waiting on approval for us to be able to proceed and do so in a safe environment for you guys. On our end, we've also been live streaming system, again, in our partnership with KDTV and the city of Santa Paula and our district. Guys, if you attended our last webinar, McMahon Gym has been wired with beautiful cameras. It's a nice setup that we have in there to help us with live streaming games. Again, you'll be very pleased and excited once you see the entire system. It has instant replay, 3 cameras mounted inside McMahon Gym, and we're working on getting Jones Field with the same setup. So we're doing that. Regardless of what happens, we have a team, our sports broadcast team, ready to do a live stream and do play-by-plays as needed for all of our competitions, whether it's through the hardwired setup or through a portable setup. It is our goal and our intent to live stream games whenever we come back. So that's going to happen regardless of what's going on with COVID. As you guys know, we've been live streaming games for the last couple of years. Now it's going to be done in a better format. And again, regardless of COVID, we're going to, part of our future is to go digital, go live streaming, and get our athletes the exposure that they deserve with the community and beyond. So we're excited about that. Aside from that, guys, athletic clearances, other news, make sure that you guys get your yearbook selfies. It's due today, the 5th, last day. Get your photos in, please. On behalf of our yearbook advisor, Mrs. Molland, looking to incorporate to you guys as much as possible, given the difficult circumstances. So please make sure you go on there. I did it myself, pretty simple. Follow the 3 steps and get your photo in. So please don't forget to do that. Deadline for that would be today. Other projects that's going on campus, guys. If you guys remember, I shared photos at the last webinar. Palm Court, you can see it's been nicely repaved. We're excited about that. So I just wanted to show you guys some pictures and understanding that a lot of you guys haven't set foot on campus in a while, but it's looking beautiful. So ready for you guys to come on back onto campus. Here's Mrs. G in our photo. The streets are repaved. Again, it's looking great. If you recall what it was before, super bumpy and rough. Again, it doesn't look like that anymore. Other things that you can expect, guys, upon the return for our athletes, for those that are in the purple too that we talked about, and in the red, obviously the COVID screening that will continue for the rest of the school year. Anybody that sets foot on campus would have to go through a series of questions. Pretty simple. I think it's 5 questions, and obviously temperature checks. So here's some pictures of the setup of what that would look like. As you can see, they're at least 6 feet apart. You'd have to check in, get screened, and then you would go sit in a designated area, ensuring social distancing from each other. So that will continue moving forward, whether it's a phase 1, phase 2, or a phase 3. So right now, cross country has returned. They're in a phase 1. But hopefully by the time we get you guys back, the other programs, we're into phase 2, which gives us a little more access to practices in terms of using equipment and facilities. So again, just some photos to let you guys know what it looks like. Here's some photos of the fall, some athletes through the process getting screened. As you can see, standing on X's 6 feet apart, get checked, and they go take a seat in a designated area. Here's some more photos of, again, phase 1 and phase 2 implementations that you can continue to expect when we bring you guys back. And again, prior to when we bring everybody back, we'll have some informational meetings as we had right here to kind of go over policies, procedures, and what you can expect when coming on. So again, hope to do this shortly with our spring sports, gearing up for competition. Right. Last but not least, again, banner project. We've done our banner project for those of you that have been around, the seniors. Our banners, we hadn't purchased banners since like 2015-16 school year, knowing that they were going to come down. So in an effort to save money to where we're at now, we finally got this project underground or off the ground, and we purchased new banners, and it looks great there. And we also added record boards on the other side for basketball, similar to what we did for track and swimming the last couple of years. So we're excited about that. Hopefully once you come back. In the meantime, for you guys, athletes out there watching this, please, I'd like to advise you guys that be ready. Again, the seasons are going to come quick. Starting the clearance process once the season starts, it's not good because it's going to be our objective to kind of get you guys in and get some practice time and get you guys back up to shape. Hopefully you're not too far out of shape as an athlete and you continue engaging in some sort of training on your side, whether it's in your garage or in your room, some sit-ups, or maybe you're allowed to do some cardio around your house or out on the street just to kind of get your wind up, something simple as push-ups. Please don't stop training. Again, if you're an athlete, just know that you're going to compete against somebody else, which means you have to get ready for competition. It doesn't stop because we don't have games. Your body needs to be conditioned physically and mentally, and hopefully you're able to do something on your end. Again, if you haven't already done so, the athletic clearance, visit the athletic webpage, www.sphsathletics.org. Go to athletic clearances, and essentially you'll need 3 forms, guys. Sports physicals, which has never changed. You've always needed one. Proof of completion page that you do at the end when you do the online home campus process. You print out the last page. That's the second thing. That has never changed. That has always been the norm. The only add that we did was a mandatory COVID liability form is required for anybody engaging in participation. So all the stuff, guys, again, you can get from the website. Very simple. It's got all the forms downloaded on there and full instructions. There's even a video, a tutorial. If you're new to the athletics, to the home campus, it will guide you on how to do it. So again, please do that. Forms, you can upload all forms to the home campus, or you can email them to myself or Mr. Jordan down below, or you can bring them with you when you come to practice. If you choose to bring them with you when you come to practice, just know that it'll be a 24-hour period before we clear you, because we got to verify your information and your insurance and all that stuff. So it'll require a 24-hour turnaround if you bring them with you. If you submit them to us in advance, then you'll be cleared upon arrival. So please, once again, do not wait, guys. Get ready, stay ready, and it's our objective, like I said, to bring you guys back. So that's the information for that. Academic eligibility, as you guys know, nothing's changed. 2.0 has always been a requirement for us. Again, third quarter ends March 12th, which means right now for athletics, we'll be using semester grades because that's the previous grading period. The next grading period that will be used for sports will be the end of the third quarter. And again, a minimum of 2.0 GPA is required. That is nothing new. That's been here beyond my time. That was here when I came to school here. And again, that continues to be the same for today. Then you got to be passing the minimum of 20 credits or be enrolled in 4 classes. Again, that has not changed. So again, third quarter ends March 12th. Please don't wait. Don't procrastinate on your academics. Stay on top of your grades. We offer supports Saturday school tomorrow, 8 to 12. Again, I emailed you guys today. Come by, stop by. We have 17 teachers that will be on duty to help you guys. Don't wait till you're behind. Stay on top of your academics, and things are a lot easier. Mr. Buchanan, you want to go over a couple of other academic supports? I just went over Saturday school.
I just want to say real quick, don't get discouraged that, it might not look like your particular sport's happening soon. Things are changing fast, so stay on top of the grades. It might be easy to be like, hey, baseball's not going to start. I don't even care about my grades. You don't know that. Things can change fast, so stay on top of the grades now. We have tutoring Monday through Thursday, office hours, and online at tutor.com. So the help is out there. Just do your best to take advantage of that help.
Absolutely, students. So again, we're here to help. Stay on top of your grades. Again, Saturday school tomorrow. Come through if you're interested, if you need help, or if you just want to chit chat. If you have any questions, I'll be there, 8 to 12. Please join me. I'd love to talk to you guys. All right. Last but not least, home campus again, athletics website. Here's the address. Home campus, here's the login. Follow us on Twitter, SPHS Athletics 2. I use Twitter a lot to kind of post and communicate with not only the students, but also the community and parents and any other stakeholders. So those of you guys that do the Twitter thing, follow athletics there. And then again, we also post a lot of stuff on the KDTV sports broadcast with our sports broadcast team with Mr. Bob Allen and Ron Merson. Join KDTV.net, and you'll also find some updates. In fact, this one here is being recorded, and we will also upload it in case any students have questions, and or they'll also have the opportunity to join us later and still view the video, the recording. So again, guys, thank you guys for joining. At this point, I'd like to open it up for any questions that you may have. Let me see if I can pull up the chat.
Ivan had one question, but he didn't state the question. Go ahead and type that question in there, Ivan.
Question, let me see, where's the chat?
He just said he had a question. He didn't put the question in.
Got it. Any questions out there, guys? Hopefully I was able to cover, for the most part, the latest of where we're at.
So Ivan wants to join cross country. Is that too late?
It is not too late, Ivan. Come on out here. These guys started practice Wednesday. Our numbers are slowly growing, and you're still invited to come out. We haven't had tryouts yet, so practice will be Monday. Starts at 3 o'clock, but the screening process starts at 2:30. So you got to get here so we can screen everybody, get everybody through the process, and get you guys on to practice.
So wouldn't you have to go into the website and do the other stuff first, get cleared, physical?
Correct. Nobody's permitted to practice or engage until those other 3 forms that we discussed are completed. 1, 2, 3. Sports physical, proof of completion page, and the mandatory COVID liability. So of course, sports physical, you'd have to go through your doctor to take care of that if you haven't already done so. Again, make an appointment now if you haven't, because it takes time. I think Dr. White on Main Street, he usually can schedule you in within a 24-hour notice. But aside from that, it usually takes a little longer, which is why I was saying, don't wait till the sports start up, because at that point, we're going to have a bunch of other students trying to get their physical at the same time. And as you guys know, there's only so many doctors available that can do the physicals at a certain time. So give yourself time. Don't wait. Otherwise, the teams are going to be practicing without you, and you don't want to fall behind. If anything, we're trying to catch up and take advantage of whatever time we can get. Any other questions we have out there? Let me scroll up. Let me scroll down. Cross country, thank you. Awesome. When do you need your physical and the doctor's note? We just answered that. You need it before you can engage in any practices. So if you're going out for cross country, you can't practice until we get it. If you're going out for baseball, softball, or any of those other sports in the purple, we would need that before you come out to practice. So again, don't wait till the practices start, because again, if you don't have it, it's going to take you a while to get your physical.
So there's a few questions. If they've already gotten their physical for a different sport and completed paperwork for football, do they still have to do it for baseball?
No. If you've already done paperwork, for example, football, and we got your physical on file, the only thing you'll have to do is go to the athletic, go to home campus and do it for baseball. get that one. You'll have to get number 2 proof of completion page for the new sport, which would be baseball, and that's essentially your parents giving permission for you to participate in baseball. We know they gave permission for football, but baseball is a completely different sport, and so we would need you to log back into the home campus, start filling it out, and as you'll see, it'll autofill about 80% of it, and then just submit the last 20%, copy that last page, and that will get you going for baseball. And your physical will carry over because we already have it.
I got a question about basketball. That's still 2 tiers away, right?
Correct. Basketball is a couple of tiers away, guys. Let me scroll up to it. Basketball is in the yellow tier, which is the last tier. And a big part of that is because basketball is an indoor sport. Obviously, with the social distancing and trying to keep everybody outdoors, it falls in there, which makes it a little harder for us to run basketball. Again, we would have to jump, as you can see, red, orange to get to yellow for basketball to be able to move forward.
So, Danny, if I had a physical, how long was that, or Mr. Guzman, how long does that physical last? If I got it in, let's say August, will it the whole school year?
Yes. If you guys recall, going back to last year, guys, our physicals were dated. Anything above June 1st carries for till the following June 1st, which is the entire school year. That's why we have June 1st to June 1st. So if you got something done in August, that still carries through. And again, come June 1st of this year, we're going to do sports physical again for next year. And that way it ensures that it covers you for the entire school year, and you don't have to do it again.
Okay, I think I got everything in the chat.
Yeah, we got the proof of completion for baseball, physical for baseball. I got canceled. I got one in here from, who's this from? I took a physical for basketball, but got canceled, so I never took it to practice. Can I use the same one? Yes, you could, as long as it's dated after June 1st. Absolutely. That will still be the same one. And if you want to scan it and send it to us or upload it to home campus, that's another option for you guys. Basketball is going to take some time. Yes, basketball is a couple colors out. Can I still join water polo? Water polo, guys, at this point is not practicing. Water polo is what we consider a fall sport. So where's it at? Where'd it go? Water polo is a fall sport, as you can see right here, girls water polo, and it's in the orange. So these guys are already in season right now. And with the season already coming to an end, water polo will not be a sport that we'd be offering because, again, it's a sport, winter sport that's already ending. It's at the tail end of that. And so with water polo being 2 colors off, we still have to get through red. It's safe to say that water polo won't make the deadline of that season, which means most likely we will not be offering water polo this season. Any other questions out there, guys or gals? All right, well, I'll stay on. For everybody else that's still with us, I just want to thank you guys for coming out today, finding out some information, guys. Again, it's my objective to always keep you guys in the loop. If anything comes across your mind, you think of something that pops up, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always email me or myself or Mr. Jordan, and I'll respond to your emails, or come visit me at Saturday School tomorrow from 8 to 12. I'd love to chit chat with you guys. Miss you guys. Hey, once again, stay in shape. Do the best you can. Don't stop. Don't quit. That's not what we do. Stay ready. Get ready. And looking forward to having you guys back. So once again, appreciate everybody. And I will stay on for everybody else. Thanks for coming.
I see one about working on 2 sports on campus. Mr. Guzman went over that when you're not going to be able to play 2 sports at the same time, right?
Correct. If you guys remember bylaws 600-605, CIF released this on January 20th. You cannot play 2 sports at the same time. They won't permit it. And again, this is new to us. It's new to you as it is to us.
Okay, so Luis got one. What is the exact date for spring sports to begin?
For Luis, there is no exact date for sports to begin. The spring sports, we have 16 programs in competition, and they all have a different starting point. For example, girls tennis, their start date is February 22nd. but therefore they're going to end sooner. But all the other sports have different start dates of what CIFSS considers official. So if you're looking at baseball, and I'll go through them really quick because I have them in front of me. Start date for, let's see, baseball is March 19th. Start date for girls golf and boys golf is March 20th. Start date for softball is March 19th. Start date for boys and girls swimming is March 13th. Start date for girls tennis is February 22nd. And start date for girls and boys track is March 20th. So again, it ranges, but it's usually throughout March is when we're kind of kicking off, with the exception of girls tennis, which is February 22nd.
Okay, so Emmanuel has a question about where to get physicals. Local doctor.
Manuel, again, as physicals, you can go to whatever doctor you want. A lot of students have their own personal doctor, that's fine. Or you can go to a Dr. White on Main Street, White Chiropractor on Main Street, or Dr. Tushla also does a lot of our physicals for our student athletes at a decent price. So he's very good. He works with the student athletes. I think Dr. White might charge $30, $35. Don't quote me on that, but you can go get your physicals there. Before you go, make sure you take your form with you that you can download on the athletic website, sphsathletics.org. Fill out the top part, and that's what you give to your doctor when you go. He'll sign his part, and then you bring that back with you. Make sure you don't lose it again, because you'll have to get another physical.
All right, so we got one about tennis. If it's going to work, how many tiers away are we from tennis? If we can go back to that one.
So tennis, guys, tennis is in the purple tier. And remember, the purple tier is right now. We're in the purple tier. So we're permitted to start tennis practices, which is what we're trying to do, but we're awaiting a district approval based on our COVID numbers within our community. So per the state, tennis is a sport that can technically engage in practices right now. On our end, again, we're dealing with Santa Paula COVID cases and numbers, a little high. In fact, higher than most in the county, the highest. But it's our objective to get you guys out. Our numbers are coming down fairly quickly, but again, we still got to do our part and play it safe. So tennis is one of the sports that we're looking to bring back as soon as possible. And that will be following right behind cross country.
And then Ivan, I'm going to answer this one. Ivan, you can try out for any of these when tryouts are available. It sounds like you're asking for permission to try out. You are more than welcome to try out for any sport that you want.
I see no more questions on the chat, everybody. Once again, thank you for joining us. You see something else, Mr. Buchanan?
No, I was on the Q&A. It's just wrestling, but that's a couple tiers away. So that one's going to be.
Well, I said, wait, you got a question. Ivan, you would like to join wrestling? Absolutely, Ivan. Wrestling being in the last tier because it's an indoor sport, it's going to be one of the last sports that we bring back, Ivan. But if we make it to that point where we're going to move forward with wrestling again, we've been communicating. Anytime we roll out a sport, our communications go out to you guys via email, and it also goes out to your teachers to notify you guys. So at this moment, wrestling is not practicing. Up next, we're bringing back the purple tier sports. With wrestling being yellow, there are going to be at least 2 colors out. So it's going to take us more time to get wrestling going. Any other questions? Ivan, thank you for joining us, Ivan. Appreciate your questions, boss. Everybody have a good weekend. Thanks again for joining. And you guys be safe out there and continue doing the best you can, getting ready, staying ready. All right. It's a pleasure talking to you guys. Be safe. Take care. Let's see.